So before we very warmly welcome our next presenter, I'd like to just leave a thought with you. I wonder if we're being a bit too lenient with things like almost the voluntary introduction of telematics, the post facto use of black box data. Let me explain what I mean. A few months ago, I was very privileged to interview the CEO of one of the biggest engineering companies in the world. And he had just spent $23 million introducing wellness programs for 3,100 staff. Now, these wellness programs are designed to proactively ensure that mentally, physically, financially, staff are able to lead a happy life and able, of course, to contribute as much as they possibly can in complete safety and in a good wellness state to the organization. So I was talking to him about this and I said, well, this is a very generous scheme and, are people buying into it? And he said, Paul, you're missing the point. He said, Paul, this is a two-way street. I don't do this just for people to opt in or out. He said, this is linked to your visa renewal, Paul. If you don't do these things, you don't get your visa renewed. And I wonder if that's how strict we need to be in this sector. Just food for thought. Let's now build a bridge to the most important and critical area of all, road safety. And our next presenter, of course, really, truly needs very little introduction because he's indeed a universally known figure in this region. It's a great pleasure to welcome to the stage Thomas Edelmann. Please, huge round of applause. Great to see you, Thomas. Pleasure.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Thanks for the kind words. It's always a pleasure to speak after TriStar, because these guys, they just stand for, I think, where we want to be as an industry. Ideally with a little bit of push from the regulator, but these guys are clearly setting a fantastic example. Before I say anything, it would be amazing if you guys could go to this URL and put in this pin, because in a couple of minutes, I would like to involve you, technology allowing, in a little bit of a voting process. So it's live.voxvote.com, and the pin is 168771. It comes again a little bit later, so if you miss it right now, it comes again. Anyways, it's so wonderful to be here to talk a little bit about road safety, and we had this discussion with Fuad in the morning, and Fuad, he really just brought it to the point. He said, well, the most important ingredient is the driver. And why is this so correct? It is correct because 95% of accidents happen because of us, because of misbehavior. So insofar, we have to be cognizant of the facts that make us misbehave, and we have to work on overcoming those facts. However, and I was asked to give a little bit of an update on road safety, when you look at the statistics, the picture is a very positive one. The most recent data we receive are from 2021. We are still waiting for last year's data, so normally they come out in about April, May timeframe, so when the Ministry of Interior aggregates all the data. But when you look at it over the time frame, and the first data we display here are from 2008, so we have a trend of minus 64%, so 2/3 less people dying on the roads of the UAE in a time span of basically a couple of years, which is a fantastic story. At the same time, the country grew, right? So the population grew much stronger. It almost doubled. It's not exactly the same period, but this starts now in 2006. Even a little bit earlier. So between 2006 and 2021, the population size doubled. The vehicles that are registered in this country, much, much more, plus 300%. Again, it's fantastic, no? I mean, the fatalities are decreasing, at the same time the country is growing, more vehicles on the road, fantastic story. And indeed, it's a fantastic story. So we have just seen population growth 91%. When you then compute the data that we have just seen per 100,000 inhabitants. This is the United Nations formula that we all know. The trend is even more pronounced, minus 80%. Fatalities per 100,000 vehicles, because the vehicles even grew stronger, much more pronounced, minus 90%. Great story. It's really a great story, indeed, and I think this has to do with the efforts of many stakeholders, last but not least, everybody here in the room. But I think we all agree also, more needs to be done. And in the context of commercial road safety, and I'm going a little bit broader than just trucks and the heavy vehicle industry or ecosystem, I'm going a little bit broader, but I'm also repeating, or I have to repeat, a lot that was said already. We heard people talking about fatigue. Drivers are getting tired. About tire safety. And this is also echoed by the force. We had a truck safety workshop with enforcement officers in Abu Dhabi a couple of years ago with MAN. And there I had the opportunity to talk to the officers. And I said, guys, what if you can change 2 or 3 things, what would it be? What really would make your life so much easier? And what is the big problem? And the representatives of the force said, Thomas, 2 things. Fatigue and tires. They're basically also echoing what we were just saying. So what's the solution? Is there a solution? Yeah, of course. And we also talked about that. We have to have more regulation in this field. And we are always looking over to the European Union. They have a fantastic system in place for many, many, many years. So it is not about reinventing the wheel. It's just about applying what works so well in other parts of the world. And it's not only about the law, it's about the ecosystem. And somebody, I'm not sure who was that, the father was a truck driver in Germany. And he said, as long as he can remember back, there was always the chance that somebody stops the truck, says, driver, climb out. How long did you drive? In the earlier days, we had this paper disc. Now it's all electronic. And we heard also from the guys from Scania before that basically Scania, as well as all the other manufacturers, have that already embedded in the product suite. So it is not only about having the law in place, but having the entire ecosystem in place. The second thing, and again, it's not trucks here, but it's about commercial and fleets. It's these guys that we see on the roads every day, being crazy, misbehaving and displaying all kinds of reckless driving. And there, because of the complexity of the ecosystem, without going into details, but it's a very complex ecosystem, yes, we can count on voluntary improvements, but they will not happen. So we need a very, very strong influence of the regulator. Otherwise, and we have seen that in the past, the ecosystem will not move if there's not a very, very strong directive from the regulator. We have to understand the root causes. And I think many of us and many in the ecosystem understand the root causes. These poor devils, they have performance-based employment contracts. So the more deliveries you do, the more money you make. And literally, they're trying to kill themselves to make a little bit more money that they can send back home. So this should not be allowed. We cannot tolerate these employment agreements. Again, there we have thought leaders. There are a couple of fleets, smaller fleets, but they say, no, we don't have these performance-based employment agreements. We have normal employment agreements because safety of our riders and everybody around is very, very important. And then again, like in the context of the maximum driving hours regime, we have to have a tracking and enforcement system in place. Telematics. There's one gentleman here, Location Solutions. Where is he? I think you guys have these over there, solutions for motorcycles. We are working together with another company called Mixed Telematics on a trial. We had a trial with Deliveroo. More needs to be done, and hopefully we are going the next step together with the regulator. And then these ones, the people movers. Last time I did a virtual presentation in detail about that. I really don't want to go into detail, but very close to my heart. In this specific accident, 8 people lost their lives. Why? Because this is just totally unregulated. If I want to go out today and I want to drive with 12 people, 15 people behind me, I can do it. I have a light vehicle driving license. Am I qualified to transport people? No. So the first thing is we have to have a proper driving license in place. We have to educate these people properly. Yeah. Safety technology, emergency braking system, seat belts even sometimes, we don't have. So we have to have, and the word ESMA was also dropped today a couple of times, we have to have the proper safety technology specs in place. Because again, we are transporting people. Look at school buses. Yes, it's children, but in the segment of school buses, we see a lot of great technology and also regulatory push behind that. Why not here? And then again, tracking enforcement. We have to be sure to understand what is happening in this segment. Last chance to log on, to download. Who wants to be a millionaire? I mean, these guys have very deep pockets, so, but no. Today it's about who wants to be a good driver. And now, hopefully, and I'm relying on my technology experts over there, we have to juggle between 2 systems here. So I will ask you a question, you can vote, and then we will see how good you are in terms of voting correctly. Are we good to go, Mr. Engineer? So, start. Now you can vote. Just look on your screen, on your mobile phone. Done? Okay, then I think you have to put on stop now, and then we see the results, or not. Did it work? Did you guys get it on the screen? The voting? Yeah? Can you push start again? And stop again? Ah, it works. Fantastic. So the vote goes to tailgating, speeding, driving under the influence, and lane swerving abrupt maneuver. Oh. Again, accidents, not fatalities. Accidents, and in Dubai. Can we jump to the PowerPoint again, please? You have to do a lot of finger acrobatics now. The correct one is, and this is a little bit contrary to what we just saw, number 1 was there, lane swerving, but number 2 is driving under the influence. Just imagine that, when I came to the country 23 years ago, hey, it's a Muslim country. Alcohol, no, alcohol doesn't exist. Meanwhile, the authorities are reporting proactively about these kind of things because they are just vital. Next one. The number of fatalities in Abu Dhabi, as recorded by Abu Dhabi police. What do you think? How many people die in the vehicles because they don't use the seatbelt? 60%, 50%, 40%, 2%. It's the law. Remember, it's the law to use the seatbelt. Does it appear on the screen? Yeah? You voted? Mr. Operator? Ooh. You're reading newspapers. Jump back to the PowerPoint, please. Indeed, 60%. I mean, how crazy? How crazy is that? 60%. I mean, if Sheikh Mohammed would walk in here and say, Thomas, now you're in charge of road safety in this country and you have 1 shot, what would you do? 1 shot. 60%? Where are we? Where do we see, the commitment of all the stakeholders of the nation to fix that? 60%. Indicating So when you ask people, hey, you have a driving license? Chiva, you have a driving license? Yeah. Yeah. You know what they indicate? Yeah? Do you always indicate? 15% say yes, I always, or 25, 35, or 45. Maybe I forgot the 100% there. Yeah? But what do you think when people say yes, I always indicate? %. Are we really that bad? 50% always? They say we always indicate? PowerPoint, please. Touché. Here we are. Again, we know the #1 cause of death in that country is lane swerving. Sudden maneuver. Hand in hand with that goes the non-use of indicators. It's just such a basic courtesy, you know, to use the indicator. It's basic manners, and it's the law. It costs us money, and it gives us black points if we don't do it. Still, only 15% say, yes, we always indicate. Another favorite of mine, the #1 reason for speeding. Do we do it out of habit? You have seen my car? It's really cool. Amazing. So I'm really going to impress you. Or I'm running late. Or, hey, look, fantastic roads. Again, my car is really cool. I can speed. What do you think people say? Again, you're spot on. It's running late. How stupid is that, no? I mean, you know, I'm starting late. I know I have to be here for the conference at 9 o'clock. You know, one more email and one more call. I know. Yeah. Let's start early. It's so easy. It doesn't cost anything. And it's such a contributor to lowering stress levels, being good to yourself, being good to everybody around. Mobile phones. We had that before, right? Again. So we ask, did you never ever use your mobile phone when you drive? Again, it's the law, right? You're not allowed to use the mobile phone. So we ask people, hey, yes, are you sticking to the law? You never use the mobile phone? Never. What's the percentage of people? 0, 26, 66, 96%. Of course, it's the law. Of course. 96% say, no, I never use the mobile phone. What is the reality? 100%? What is this? No. Can we go to the PowerPoint? Don't be so pessimistic, please. 26%, not 0. Yeah. Also, it's research. Yeah? So we always have to. We're talking about trends here, but it's not 0. Yeah? We are a little bit better than that. Yeah? But still, 26%, scary. It's scary stuff, isn't it? Like, when you think about 75% of people, they occasionally use the phone. This is this is 3 out of 4 cars. Yeah, you look around, well, what's happening? Yeah? So really scary stuff. And we heard also before how dangerous that is. Are we done? This is a good one also. Seatbelts. 2017, we introduced the holistic seatbelt law. Everybody in the car must wear a seatbelt, including children up to the age of 4. They have to even have their own child seats. But everybody must be buckled up in the car. Back seat, taxi, Karim. Yeah. Stephen is giving me a lift. Yeah, I'm sitting in the back of his car. Yeah. So, how many passengers in the back seat say, I always kind of use the seatbelts? It's boring. It is really, it's 11%. Just 11%, imagine. And we all know how dangerous it is. Link to that. I don't, but somebody has a small kid, 0 to 4 years old. Yes, it's a law. I know we have to have a seatbelt, a child seat. How many parents that love their kids, of course, but how many parents say, I don't have a child seat. I know I should have one, I don't have one. 0, because of course we love our kids. Best for the kids. Is it 8%? Is it 20%? Or is it 38%? What do we think? 28%. Back to the PowerPoint, please. Shockingly enough, it is 38%. They say, yes, I know, I should have, I don't have. In our research, we also know the reasons why. Basically, for all of that here, we go deeper. We always try to understand the root causes, and we understand the reasons why people don't have child seats. Just as an anecdote, of those people who do have child seats for their children, 30% don't use them always. No, I have it, and I still don't use it always. Again, we understand the reasons there, and we just say, oh, come on. Anyways, I think this is the last one now. Then you can lean back and relax again. Running late, again, running late is not only a key ingredient for speeding, but we know from research and also from our behavior, it's also a key contributor to tailgating, to bullying others, to being impolite to others, because, just get out of my way. So running late, how many people say, you know, I always, or often, or sometimes start late? 79, the winner here is 59%. 80%, 79%. Yeah, come on. Yeah. No words. I mean, I think it's self-explanatory. Okay, thanks a lot for your juggling back there. But why do I tell you all of that? Why? What's the purpose of, or what's the relevance of telling you that? The reason is very simple, because we need you. We need you to change the situation. And again, we had Shiva here from TriStar. They're not mandated by the regulator to do things, but they just do it for the right reasons. And you were very explicit about telling that to us again. And again, it starts with the fact of embracing road safety. And I had a discussion also with the colleagues from Total, with Ketan. They embrace road safety. And he gave me a lot of really great examples of what they're doing as an organization. It is about engaging with your two audiences. Like all of you in the room, you have two audiences. What's that? One audience, we call it the internal audience. It's the staff, the families of the staff. In terms of a fleet operator, it's our drivers, our employees. So this is the internal audience. We have to engage with them. But then it's also the external audience. TriStar is going to schools. They're investing money. They're going out. They want to be seen as a good citizen. They want to contribute. And all of you guys ideally should contribute. To work with these two audiences. Share the best practice. When I listen to companies like TriStar or Total, whatever, I say, that's fantastic what you're doing, but who knows about it? Yeah, we know a little bit about, but we have to really formalize that. We have to create a database where I, as a fleet operator, would say, okay, I'm not TriStar, but I want to be TriStar. But what can I do? So what is there in terms of resources? You know what? They're sharing it. And we want to go there and say, but how do I really interact with my drivers? How do I, and why do I implement telematics? What do I do, etc.? So we should really work together as a group and put this best practice together. You can also use existing material. So these 2 points, they go together. Ideally, there is a database. We do that. Our portal, our online portal, RoadSafetyUAE.com, contains many tips and tricks to about 60 topics of road safety. Use it to engage with your audiences. And this is also very cool, and I think, again, there are good examples out there. It's about empowering. I recently had an invitation from a big fleet operator, and they said, Thomas, we need international experts, we need to fly in people, we have to work with our people, we have to train them, da-da-da-da-da-da. I said, well, are all your drivers bad? Oh, no, we have super drivers. I said, fine. Identify the drivers, because even me as Thomas, I come down with the helicopter, I talk to the drivers, and I said, you should do this, you should do that, da-da-da-da-da. I leave, I'm gone. But if we take, Ajit, The guy who has been with us for 10 years, never had an accident, always looks like fantastic, his truck is always amazing. This guy should talk to the colleagues. So it's about empowering the ecosystem, tap into their resources, make them proud, make them happy, because the colleagues would also listen to him. Ajit, of course, we listen to this guy, he's amazing. And be creative. It's not, road safety doesn't have to be boring. We have done so many cool things, and I will show you a couple later. But road safety doesn't have to be boring. It can be super engaging, super enthusiastic, and about collaboration. Again, this goes together to the things I said before. Let's not do things in isolation. We have to reach out to each other. We have to tap into the resources of each other. We also have to be willing to share. Yeah? But let's work together. We are together in that. We're together on the roads. We're together in that, literally. These are just a couple of initiatives. I mean, this is, for example, one that we have been doing 3 times last year with one of our partners, Bridgestone, and Al Mazoud and ITC in Abu Dhabi. So we are stopping the truck drivers, we are checking the tires, engaging with the truck drivers. And with Total, we had this discussion, we can make it bigger. They have experience in that. Maybe we cannot try them and add them. They have the same distributor in Abu Dhabi. Why not teaming up? We have done like the first ever truck trailer conference. Well, how boring is that? It was not boring at all. It was amazing. We had also more than 100 people in a very nice hotel on Palm Island, together with Dubai Police. Fantastic event. Just recently, we had, together with Mercedes-Benz and Mixed Telematics and Bridgestone, a truck safety event at the Montgomery Golf Club. Very nice feedback, very well attended. These guys I wanted to have here today, and we tried to get them here. This is Al Gandhi. They have a seatbelt convincer. And I think you guys know what that is. Yeah? Use it for your activations. Reach out to me via Steven or just reach out. It's free of charge. Al Gandhi, they wanted to come today, but unfortunately today they have a double booking. They couldn't come. This is fantastic. So whenever, and we have just seen 60% of fatalities, people don't use the seatbelt. This thingy is called the seat belt convincer. Convincer, because you do it once, you're convinced. This thingy rams with 8 kilometers per hour in a barrier, and the force you're feeling, it's incredible. Use that for your staff engagements. If you have something where you invite your customers, reach out to us. It comes to you, all bells and whistles attached, no cost, free of charge, pure CSR. STS. Somebody mentioned school buses today. We're very proud of having been working together with STS, the biggest private school bus company in the UAE for many years. Steve Burnell, super cool guy. They invested in a school bus, in a smart bus, inside a lot of technology with the kids to interact, just really cool stuff. With Serco, David Greer, the ex-CEO of Serco, super committed to road safety. We had very nice events you see the number of attendants up there. We had very nice events with these guys, yeah? Pulling again the ecosystem together, sharing, collaborating. Mercedes-Benz again. They reached out to us and said, Thomas, you're working together with Captain Salem Al-Amimi from Dubai Police. Can he come? Can he speak? Can you speak? Can we work together? Can we collaborate? Super cool event. Just imagine, this was like a regional get-together, and then one of the police guys of Dubai speaks there about truck safety. I wish we have these guys also here, maybe next time RTA or ESMA even or whatever. So it's about also collaborating with the authorities. And that's another one that we have also done with Dubai Police. They even invited us to the Dubai Police Officers Club. All the big shots from Dubai Police there, this was together with MAN, also about the truck safety workshop. So these things, they're fun. It's about being together and exchanging views. Yeah, when you think about it, I mean, who came here today by car? I think everybody in one form or the other. Your own car, with a colleague, in a taxi. So we say road safety touches all of us. Our spouses, our children, the blue-collar worker and the buses. But road safety touches all of us every single day. Thanks.
Thanks very much for the presentation. Really enjoyed it. I would like you to touch a little bit upon where do you see on-board safety going with commercial vehicles. We know a lot about car safety devices and safety features on cars, on passengers' cars, but where do you see it on commercial vehicles? I mean, something like, say, a tire pressure monitor system, which is mandatory on a car. There's still no regulation, as far as I'm aware, on commercial vehicles. So where do you see that going? A few words on that?
Yeah. Well, for me, it's always content and process. Yeah. So what is the content we want to tackle? What are the problems? And what is the process of making that happen? And in terms of content, again, remember the police guys? Tire and fatigue. Oh, there are other things as well. Yeah. But tire safety and fatigue. So this is the content. Do we have solutions? Oh, plenty. What is holding us back from a process standpoint? Yeah. My vision would be that His Highness Sheikh Saif Al Nahyan, the Minister of Interior, who is in charge of all the police force, all of that here, so that these guys said, yeah, we take it personal. I want to be, a catalyst for everything that goes wrong on the roads, not only in the commercial sector, but because these guys, they can make it happen. And they can make it happen very, very quickly and very swiftly. And so that's the reason why, again, I have put like a document together where I address all the improvement potentials or all the opportunities that we have in terms of road safety in the UAE. And whatever you look at, and I don't want to go too far here, but you have to have somebody who really means change and who wants to do change. Because otherwise, like for example, with the motorcycle riders, you have the aggregator, you have the fleet operator. It's always the other guy. You go to him and say, hey, Mr. Deliveroo, you should do that. Oh, no, it's not us. It's the fleet operator. You go to the fleet operator and say, no, I'm operating under what these guys tell me to do. It's not, you're like a hamster. So we have to have somebody who is on top who says, this needs to be done, and I give you exactly 1 month, halas, this has to be fixed. The implementation of the maximum driving hours regime from the EU, it's there. Copy paste. Yeah. What are the issues? Tire safety. What can we do? Yeah. You talked about the tire pressure sensors, whatever. Yeah. And we have great systems in place. I mean, like Continental, for example, the Conti pressure system, whatever it's called. Yeah. So it's there. But except very responsible thought leaders who implement it, nobody else. Why? Because there's nobody on top kind of forcing me to do it.
And gentlemen, just over here at the end there.
Great presentation, Thomas, as always. Thank you. What's the main argument of government authorities not imposing tachograph? I mean, I can understand at some level...
Stop smiling.
At some level that fleet operators may object monitoring driving hours from an economic point of view. But what's blocking the government authorities?
It is conflicting interests. Yeah? And we discussed it also this morning. Yeah? Like RTA, in RTA you have a department, they're building infrastructure. Okay, well, we're building a bridge together. How do we do? There are international standards. Let's build a bridge. International standards. Let's make it a bit stronger. Yeah, but what do we have internationally? 40 tons? Okay, let's build it for 50, for 60 tons. But what's happening? Then the guys are coming with 100 tons, kind of, trucks, going over that. The infrastructure guy of RTA is not happy because he said, guys, you're ruining my infrastructure, you're ruining my bridge. Yeah, and we have a law in place, but it's not implemented because, and I made this example, remember when Palm Island was built and we had all these rocks coming from Ras Al Khaimah? How heavy were these trucks? Yeah? And then we go and say, no, you have to reduce 40 tons maximum, whatever. They said, wow, but then we have 2 times the amount of trucks on the roads. Everything is congested. Forget it, it's impossible. So it's always about selecting the lesser evil, and it's always a kind of meandering through different objectives because you have different layers of objectives, and this very often holds us back. Holds us back, sorry. The same with the holistic seatbelt law. When I started RoadSaftyUAE in the year 2013, end of 2013, I knew that the seatbelt law was written, but it was like in the drawer. It was here. Because I knew people who worked on the law, international experts. And I said, it's what we need, it's there. It was in the drawer. And we went out again and again and said, come on, put it out, put it out. Then we did a big piece of research, beginning of 2017, and we were on the front page of all the newspapers and in radio, whatever. And then suddenly, mid of 2017, it came out. Now, the moral of the story is, yeah, you can wait until something happens, and it will happen, or you build data points to convince the stakeholders. And this is the reason why I'm so keen also in terms of learning from the best in the class. Because these guys, they can say, you know what, we invested into that, we implemented that, yes, it costs something, but this is the contribution, this is what it brings to us as the organization, but also to the society, because we will not have every second day a fuel tanker on fire or flipping over, no. And, super, so, okay, well, you know, and let's push them gently, but push them, the decision makers, in a direction. And this is why we are here. So we are not shy in articulating our opinion, like with the seatbelts, and this is what it takes. Again, it's not so easy, and there are conflicting interests, but we have to overcome those.
Any other questions for Thomas at all, please? Any other questions?
Hi. Firstly, I want to thank Mr. Thomas, the audience, the organizer. My question, two parts. The first part, the responsibility for the truck manufacturer to educate the driver, the fleet driver, when the company buy any brand. I believe it should be contractual obligation that to train my driver, give them safety education about that truck, what they are going to use in the road, and which is affecting all of us in case of the driver, he don't know how to run this vehicle. This is one thing. From other view, where is the legalization for this specific thing that the manufacturer, whether vehicle or tire also, they should do some kind of training, some kind of education for the driver. So where is the road and safety UAE involved in that?
Yeah. So going back, the first question was about the OEMs, the big brands, like the Scanias and the Mercedes-Benz of the world. What are they doing to educate the drivers? Right? Yes. Yeah. Well, I can just tell you that all of these brands, they have expert drivers. They have, I'm sure also it's the same for you. I mean, we didn't work together, but I worked with MAN a lot and with Mercedes-Benz. And they all have expert drivers. I have with Volvo as well, so they all have expert trainers. Some are resident, some have to be flown in, but this exists. So, and you guys are working very close with Mercedes-Benz, for example. I'm not sure if you utilized some of the international trainers. You did. It's available. It is available, and again, upon request. TriStar is doing it. I think every fleet that buys trucks, there is a commercial agreement or a commercial interest that you just say, hey, brand like Iveco or Scania or Volvo or wherever you purchase your trucks from, I want that, and I want your experts to work with my drivers. Again, remember what I said before. The Mercedes-Benz expert driver comes maybe with a plane from Germany. He's resident anyway. He comes, he speaks, he leaves. So it's about empowering the ecosystem there. So yes, we can maybe take them to kickstart things, but then, you know, the knowledge should reside in the organization, because to my strong belief, it only can work then when you empower the ecosystem. And it's easy, it's not rocket science. I mean, we have tools for that, but I think it's quite straightforward. Huh? And the second question is about, if you understand correctly, about the tires and the tire systems, and what is the regulator doing?
There is another thing. This is, I believe, it should be some legalization, some contractual obligation. Suppose I buy 30 trucks from X company, it should be, I believe, it should be some contractual obligation to tell my driver, even if they are expert or not, to tell them about the new truck, how they can use it, what is the safety they can do it. So from this point, Road and Safety UAE, they are working on such project or no? Then
we are lobbying for these kind of things. And again, it's about, see, we are a platform. And we are collecting content, and then we are connecting people. That's the reason why we like to work with brands that mean it, and to put the assets on the platform, and then to take it from there. Because I'm sure, and I know that Mercedes-Benz, for example, when they're handing over a vehicle, it is not just, Chuck, here's your truck. No. Here's your truck. Come with me. I'll show you now how the truck works. This is a new system. This is how you operate. This is a new system. How long is the procedure for one truck?
One driver, they take 3 hours.
One driver, 3 hours. Is it in the agreement? Probably yes, but it's also like a good, is it the same in your case? Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, so a responsible OEM, they would do that anyways. Yeah.
By law, what is required by law, at least, it's the driver manual, which he has in Arabic or different language, ordered by the owner from manufacturer. So all the safety features are there. Of course, it's hundreds of pages, but it's, I mean, the knowledge is available. It's just to execute it. That's my opinion.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions for Thomas at all, please? Any other questions?
All right. Thanks again. No.
Stephen has a question.
No, not
Stephen
you.
Are you feeling more positive about the progress we potentially could make in the market? I mean, when you look at the figures and you hear like we did that test, which was just fantastic, by the way. It's mixed. My feelings are mixed because I sit there and I think, in some ways, we're making huge strides, in others, but in others, it feels like, is the message getting through? So, you're at the cool face of this. Do you feel more positive or not? Because it seems like you're engaging with some really important people in this process, like the Dubai Police, Abu Dhabi Police, the RTA. But we're still seeing as though those figures there that you're still seeing. I mean, it's shocking, some of them. Like that figure there, the 38% for 4 out of 10 people don't put their children into seatbelts. I mean, it's just frightening. So, yes, can we be positive?
In my opinion, not really.
Right.
Because so many fundamentals are not there. And I give you just one example. And I had this discussion last week in Abu Dhabi. There was a big conference between IRF and ITC.
Yeah.
And I was moderating a panel, and I could offload all my questions there to the authorities.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
60% are not wearing the seatbelt. Was done by Abu Dhabi Police in 2017. And before that, and after that, and I'm right now in discussions, never done again. Data. We all know how important data are. Just to have a really, like a holistic database about what is happening on the roads. Yeah. And now, hey, we're running a campaign together about seatbelts. Did it work? Did it not work? So huge improvement opportunities there. Just to have proper data out. Now, what is today? The 15th of March. We are waiting for the fatality data of 2022. I mean, come on, we have all the information in real time. How is this possible? Where are the systems in place? So just data is just one. But again, like we have a wish list of those things. For example, 50% of all people dying on the roads are youngsters. Drivers below the age of 30.
Wow.
What do we do? Nothing.
That shows an education situation there, isn't it?
So there's no curriculum content in schools. There is whatever. I mean, don't get me going. I think it's great. The achievements are great. But we need to do more.
It's an interesting one as well. I mean, look, we're going to run out of time, but it's an interesting one because the way that the business model for the commercial vehicle sector and the fleet sector is changing, lots of on-demand services, they're using other kind of people will be accessing their services via apps. So there's gatekeepers coming into the market that aren't there before, and they could make a decision and say, we won't list a transport company on our platform that doesn't fulfill this service, this safety criteria. But obviously, will they? That's the question. But there is that opportunity, and maybe maybe there is somebody to engage with. But I just want to say thank you. Sorry.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks, Thomas.
Thank you. Please, huge round of applause for Thomas. Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's really good. Thank you.